lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow, I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt the glow. The warmth inside me kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. My best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell, stared at death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me for. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone.
What's up, nerds? Welcome back to another episode of the Aggressively Average Angler podcast. We are live, and we're talking about kayaks, specifically a new build. We don't own these kayaks that we're talking about today, and it's not going to be the ones that you think it would be. Yeah, you might think you know what we're going to say, and you don't. So we're more talking about fishing kayaks for the river, and that makes a big difference as to what we're going to choose. So I think today is going to be fun. Paul and I each on our own have gone out and built a kayak on the internet without buying it or spending any money at all. But we do have some ideas. And I like the idea of this episode. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for a lot of you guys. If you're looking to get off the bank, get into a kayak, or if you have a kayak and you're maybe considering other options, this could be helpful. I want to point out way early on in the show too, price is kind of part of this, but not that big of a deal, right? So we might be pricing them up. It could be like a $2,000, $2,500, $3,000 kind of range. That doesn't mean that you have to do this. Oh, what's up, buddy? We got a little buddy on screen right now. So don't worry about the price on this one. You don't have to get all the things that we're talking about. We're specifically talking about like what would be like the ultimate river build. We'd be super happy with this thing. We're not going over the top on electronics, whatever. You guys will get the gist of it, and then you can piece together your own. But this is kind of how we, with the experience that we've had with all the kayaks that we've used, which is a lot of different brands, a lot of different styles, paddle, pedal, etc. And with that experience, like what would we build now, knowing what we know now? And that's kind of the point of the show, right? Aggressively Average Anglers, that's how we do things. Learn through the experience and learn from as many other people. So I'm taking stuff away from like Fluke Master or maybe Chad Hoover or whoever, right? Lots of people that we've talked about in the past or talked with in the past on the show, which is what's going to make this really cool. So thanks for being here with us. I got my co-host Paul, whatever his last name is. What's up, dude? How you doing?
Hey, I don't have a last name anymore, but so I'm doing
Paul
less good than
Flesh Stash. What is it? Glass?
last
Sounds like a
say.
serial
Uh,
killer.
oh god. All right, so let's get into the Q of the D. Also, well, but first we're gonna call out some of our wonderful sponsors. Of course, Monster Bass, of course, Akuma, of course, Busby, and Waterland. You could see if you are listening to this as a podcast, you can check the description here, and you can find links to all those wonderful places and support the show. So we appreciate you.
Some of
Q of
those,
the
by
D.
the way, are still doing some cyber deals for the week. So go check them out. I don't know. We still got discount codes on stuff, so if you guys want to support the show, you can do that. Also, I see a lot of green names in chat. Green names mean that they're super cool people that have chosen to support the show of their own volition, and you can become a member too if you want to. Just click join below. We're gonna do a members only live in a couple weeks here. I believe it is on some date 2 weeks from now, the 13th, Tuesday the 13th, right, guys? Nailed it. All right, Tuesday the 13th, we'll be going live 8 p.m. Eastern right here on YouTube for our members only. So if you are a Chartreuse level or Snorlax crew level member, then you can join in on that fun. They are a blast. We do special giveaways on those all the time. Last time we gave away a reel, and we're happy to do it. We really enjoy hanging out with you guys in a members only format, and we love giving you stuff when we can. So if you want to support the show, you can do that, or you can do a super chat tonight. Thank you so much for considering it. All right, cue the D.
The which of these two horrific scenarios would you select over the other? Option one, eyelash is always poking your eye forever. You can never get it out. You get no relief. Or a sliver in either your foot or your hand that you can never remove
I
and
was
will
gonna say,
always bother you.
I was gonna ask where, because that would make like major
It's
difference.
got
So
or it's like in
foot
your
or
armpit.
hand? Oh no, that's not even
Yeah.
no rude.
It's gotta be somewhere
Uh,
bad.
right. I mean, an eyelash poke in your eye though is arguably one of the worst things on the planet
It's
Earth.
it's one of those things that when it does happen to me and it doesn't just like immediately get brushed
Yeah,
away,
yeah.
I everything is dropped. I could be
I
holding babies. I
cannot
could be
say.
holding any, and I'm like, nope. Like I'm doing that and nothing else.
I'm seeing
I'm
a
going
lot of
sliver.
I'm seeing a lot of slivers in chat, and I'm with Chad. I'm with Paul on this one. I think my eyes are very important. Hands, feet, also
No.
very important. I kind of want to be able to see. I mean, I'm half blind already. Don't make me like three quarters blind,
The the thing you're
please.
not considering is that you can just shut your eye
Yeah,
75% of the time and be fine. So you could be eye patch guy and have almost no impact except for you can't see out of one of your eyes. If it's
keep
like
it.
in your hand,
Hold it
you
shut
like
though.
you're not gonna be like workout guy. You're not
hmm
gonna be like open jar of pickles guy. You're not gonna be you might be
hmm
like handicap fishing guy. What if it's in your
Yeah,
foot? You'll never run again.
I have just stabbed my hands so many times and gotten so many slivers and through working out gotten so many blisters and tears in my hands that I think that's just normal. So I'm gonna go with the sliver in the hand. I'll accept it. Like
It's
I'm
not
good
gonna be
with
in your
that.
callus. It's gonna be like
No, in the palm, in
right
the
here.
face point,
Right
in the
here.
knuckle of my pinky. I
Yeah,
don't care.
right
Tell
here.
me where. I don't care. I'll take it.
I agree. Take a sliver. It's still awful. Those are both
It is.
horrible.
It sucks. These both suck. Let's be
These are
real. They
terrible.
both
Yeah,
suck.
neither option was good.
Okay,
That was a good
cool.
one.
Well,
I like
great,
that.
great starting off. Should we do more of these for the Q
Yeah,
of the
not
D?
one person picked eyelash. So
Ex-
there you go.
All right, look, unanimous. We could do more like would you rather's. Those are always fun little icebreakers. I like it. All right, so
Let's get into the boat selection. That is the show me.
yep,
We're gonna work our way tops down for the most part. Now, Jeff already kind of laid it out. The concept here is not to build the cheapest boat. It's not to build the most expensive boat. This
yep,
is we're targeting like where are we going to spend our money, and we'll let you know where we sort of I went value or I went
right,
premium or I went middle of the road. It's going to be all over the map. This is what I would honestly buy right now as of
yeah.
November 30th, 2022. This is
If you
what I
had
would buy knowing today.
3K burning a hole in your pocket,
Yeah, and also the concept is not like, well, I have this other boat, so I would spend less or this one, or I have a really crappy boat.
you
So
can't
that's
carry
all. It's all
anything over.
irrelevant. That's not important. Not taking that into consideration. The
Yep.
one thing that is dictating all of this, and this is actually the reason we want to do the episode, was this is strictly for like river stream fishing. This is
hmm
not. This is paddle only, not pedal. No feet involved with propulsion. Paddle only. And I haven't honestly done like a re-up on all the models that are out there in quite a while. So this was really good because I kind of went back and checked some brands. Like we
hmm
were looking at Jackson, we were looking at Vibe, we were looking at all these companies that have come out recently or within the last 2 3 years that have come out with newer models or new additions or upgrades or changes. And taking all that into consideration, we're looking for this is what I would build today. So
Right.
you'll see what the price tag is. We'll go through the price on everything. We're gonna start with the boat selection.
Yeah.
Jeff, do you want to go first? And
Duh.
we'll go through some honorable
Yeah.
mentions as well.
Fair. Chat, I think you're gonna be sad with your poll results at the end of this episode. So thanks for the believers who gave me a 40% on this. And also you may or may not be surprised that these two boats are like almost exactly the
They are,
same.
yeah, they're very similar. They're not identical, but a lot of it is the same.
If you thought one of us was gonna build just like a floating plank of wood, like it's not that. They're gonna be great. So,
uh,
all right. So for my build, there's plenty of things to consider. I also tried on purpose not to pick the same one as you.
yeah.
And after going through all the brands too, like definitely wanted to go paddle. Was first put it out there. We both went with this. I know that. But it's a paddle kayak so that we can get through the skinny streams. If you guys saw the video, we did kind of a meetup with Ethan Duvetter, Fish Anything, and he had his paddles with us. Now he has a paddle kayak, but it's also one where you just flip up the pedal drive and you can paddle. Instead, he got through the skinny water. Guess what two dorks were doing, trying to pedal and then just getting out and walking through like 52-degree water. It wasn't fun. So yeah, I would definitely rather have a paddle. So I went with the paddle, and I specifically went with the Bonafide SS 127. It's a 12-foot 7 kayak, and I went with that one reputation. Like it is a kayak that's been on the market for a little while now, and it absolutely bangs. Like it is awesome. It crushes it out of the park. A lot of the stock items are amazing. It comes with a lot of accessories. You got your yak tracks. You got plenty of storage in there. Plenty of storage for a 12.7. And even though it's 12.7, it's got a 33 and 3/4 inch beam, so it's pretty wide, therefore very, very stable. I've seen the stability tests on it. I've seen people like tip themselves out, get back in, re-entry, all that. It looks very stable. I like everything that I've seen about it, and I could see having a good gosh dang time in it. I also think like other than the fact that Fluke Master has one, there's plenty of people out there that are just rocking them in like tournaments. And also I remember I don't know. It was a couple of years ago now. I think it was John B did like a full like 3-day river trip in it, like just in that. And I watched him go through like rapids and stuff. So it was kind of a no-brainer for me. It's also a kayak that I've been eyeing for a while. So that's my choice. What's yours?
Yep. I will say a couple of things about the Bonafide. When we got this one, we got to put our hands on the one that's this boat at iCast, and the fit and finish, the quality is in spades. It's one of the highest
Yep.
quality boats out there, um, down to the screws and the glue and like all the accessory materials, very high quality, well thought out. I really big fan of that manufacturer in general. They make a high quality
Hmm.
boat. And then the price on that one at 1,700, it's expensive. There's no doubt about it. Especially for a paddle kayak.
With that though, I think about all the included accessories, just like with the Hobies, although everybody's like Hobies, pinky out, eating your caviar or whatever. Like it does include a lot of accessories you just can't get elsewhere, so it's pretty gosh dang stock. Also, who was it in here in chat that Plum mentioned? Yeah, Chad Hoover helped design it a bit. We've talked with him on and off air before about it, so I do have a lot of faith in that. But yeah, the price point when you get into that like I'd say 1,300 to 2K. As you sneak up towards 2K, it generally with a paddle especially, it's just coming with more stock stuff you would have otherwise bought, drilled, installed on your own, and it's already stock installed, which is obviously better. Like it's just cleaner no matter what you do.
Yeah, I think the other thing is just the quality materials. Again, like the
Hmm.
rails, they're gonna get aluminum rails, right? You're gonna get, instead of like little bungees, you're getting straps. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff like that that you
Hmm.
and the other thing is custom hull design versus stolen hull design. Like the amount of iterations
Yeah,
they have to go through to create a vessel, that's really important too. Um my choice was the
newer one,
Crescent. What?
the newer one, right?
It is the Crescent Shoaly.
Yeah.
Um, this is a kayak that is like probably. I honestly I don't think it's on a lot of people's radar. Drew Gregory was not just like helping design, was like integral in designing the boat. Like everything from how much draft it's going to have to how it trims out, as you know, how the design
Mhm.
in the front is trimmed out for it to move through water, all that kind of stuff. Um, and if you've ever watched Drew fish as like a professional angler, he's unbelievable. And actually, I never would have even looked into Crescent kayaks because I'll be honest with you guys, the other models are not for me. I wouldn't buy a single other model from Crescent. This is the only one, but
Yeah.
this is a really impressive kayak. So the reasons that I actually chose this one um, were one, the draft is like 2 inches, it's nothing. So you can
Yeah.
2 inches of water, you're not skimming bottom. It's like
Yeah.
nothing. 2, I love that it's really simplistic, but there's actually a lot designed into it. So some examples of what we're talking about. This is a kayak fishing, uh, a tournament fishing ready boat. It has a really custom spot for your net. It's basically like a holster where it's like a
Mhm.
quick draw for your net or fishing rod. It has a special spot for your tournament ready, catch board, your like ruler for measuring fish. It has a spot where it sets inside. It is not going anywhere. Um, the way the foot pedals work is really, really slick. Huge fan. Super secure, but also super quick. The way that your screen pops in, it's actually flush. Everything on this kayak is designed to be flush. The rods are
Mhm.
all supposed to lay flat, neither facing forwards or backwards. And the boat's actually designed to accommodate 4 rods facing forward at any given time and 2 to 4 rods facing backwards, not sitting vertically. There's no bungees. Only the only bungees there are to secure specific things like tackle boxes and the roto molded lid for your gigantic front storage. Everything else is a strap, like a heavy duty aluminum strap. All the accessories are made by Yak Attack. They're made in America. The seat is designed by another company, also made in America. I love everything about how this boat is designed, and I like the one thing that I thought was super cool. The cup holder is actually the exact same size as an Anchor Wizard, and this is what I'm talking about. Like the Anchor Wizard fits inside and mounts inside the cup holder, so it's totally flush. And then in the back,
Wow.
where the chain comes back for the to drag, like if you want to do a drag chain, which is my preferred river fishing method, it's actually got a channel to hold your chains and then drop them back. It is like the slickest thing ever. And like someone who loves to fish and rivers design this because the front handle, the whole thing can come completely off, and it's like a 4 foot, 5 foot long strap that you can clip and like tie around your waist using the strap and then walk your boat upstream. Like that is how you know that someone who loves to fish and like fishes rivers exclusively designed this boat. Also, the hull, it's pretty darn wide, so it's very stable for standing, but really in
Mhm.
the river, it's super stable to accommodate, moving water. The front end is like super bulbousy. The reason that it is the way that it is because when you're going through rapids, it's designed to stay nose up through those rapids, which gives you an advantage. And then the way that it's the how it flattens out in the middle, that's giving you that really low draft. So I mean, it really is for the river. That's what it's designed for. Everything about it's designed for it. $1,600. So right, almost the exact same price as Jeff's.
Yeah, like I said, you guys, as you follow along, it's gonna be pretty much the same build. But yeah, so lots of stock stuff that come on these two kayaks. And if you guys like go look at them so you can get a really cool up close look on the Bonafide, for example. If you go to the Bonafide website, they have an actually like a 3D tour that you can do with a kayak, and you can zoom in, zoom out, turn it all around, go every angle you want. It's pretty nuts. I forgot to mention the stowaway bin that goes under the seat for that, by the way. And these are both sit on tops. Also, we should probably mention that. Nice seats. They have like arch support. There's space underneath for storage. I like the storage underneath the Bonafide. It would force me to
Right.
downsize, which is
Yeah.
totally fine with me. We're going to talk about downsizing a little bit today. But that little slide out tray is freaking money. And it actually has little slots for like the butt of your rod. So you can just set your rod in there, set it down. And then if you guys have seen the Bonafides before, up at the front, they actually have a tip guard and like kind of holder for those rods. So it's meant to have those rods laid down. Both these kayaks do that, which is really cool.
The one
And you can
the crest
customize the
the
crap out of these. But
The
yeah.
Crescent actually has this strap that's designed specifically to hold
Yeah.
rods in transit, but it's also designed specifically to hold your paddle with enough stretch for you to pick it up and move it
Yeah.
to the other side of the boat without taking it out of the strap.
Yeah.
So, like, when you have it laying this way, you can put it over your head or move it out of the way of sticks and
Yeah.
stuff in the river without actually taking it out. Dude, the level of thought is freaking, like, it's next level. It really is. I highly recommend that people look at the video. Again,
Yeah.
Drew Gregory, the amount of thought, it's 1,000 out of 10. So good.
Yeah, the Bonafide actually does that too, dude.
I know. I
Just
love
saying.
it's, but it's like it again,
It
like this, the
the
difference between, like, okay, so some other kayaks that we looked at that did not make
Yes,
the cut. No Jackson kayak was going to make the cut.
not even
There's
close.
like, none of those things are included. It does have some of the
Yeah,
standard features. It does have the nice, molded front lid, which I think is a huge. That's another
yeah,
thing that Bonafide had. When you look at the Old Town, it just has like a plastic, molded lid, not a roto
mhm.
molded lid. That there's an eternity of difference between the
Oh,
two,
yeah,
and the amount of the waterproofness, sturdiness, and then ability to get like a custom fit where you can trust that what you have in there is going to stay safe. It's just not the same. It's just not the same.
and the
Um,
snaps, like, having snaps on it, like, the Bonafide has those, like,
it's
latches. I think yours
totally
does too, doesn't it?
elastic. It's elastic where it gets
So it's
pulled
like the
down, just like
Hobies.
the Hobie.
Yep, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so, like, the amount of thought that goes into some of the stuff, it just wasn't there
It's
with
great.
Jackson's. I do like some of the Jackson boats. They're at a really great price point, but not definitely not for the paddle.
Mhm.
Again, just my opinion. And you're definitely going to pay more for some of these boats. The
Yep.
vibes, I personally am not a huge vibe
They're a
fan, but
bit
I've never been in one.
narrower.
They're definitely more skinny. They're low profile. They're
Yeah,
designed to be a lower profile. They're not less stable, at least from my understanding. I mean, they've got
yeah,
it where there's like a little platform that goes over that flips over the seat that you stand on. I mean, it's really cool. And
yep,
there's some really cool features that they've done. But when I look at like the handles, I'm less plus because they're not as heavy duty. When I
right.
look at all like the fit and the finish on like what's included and what's not, again, everything in the Crescent, almost everything is Yak Attack, like a standard item that you can replace, but is super heavy duty and is built
Yeah,
aftermarket. That's put in the boat already. Um, I just love that. The other thing I like about the Crescent, the seat, I think is head and shoulders above a lot of other seats that are being made because
yeah,
that seat is so minimalistic, but it's only made with like tubular steel. Like it
yeah,
is super, super heavy duty, but there's not much to it. So you get like the high quality component without all the extras. And again, in a riverboat, that's kind of what I'm looking for. The Pescador was one that has come up. I did look at the Pescator. I've never been in one. I feel like before I really give a judgment, I need to actually get in one
mhm,
because I've heard a lot of great things. They always get great reviews. I don't see it personally. I'm not, like, thrilled by that boat. It's a solid boat.
right.
I'm willing to say that because of I've seen so many people recommend it, and I know people that fish in them that are really good anglers, but I can't recommend it over, like, the Crescent, for example. I just can't do it, or the Bonafide. Too many people in that Bonafide boat that wanna die by them, and they're willing to die on the
Yeah.
hill.
Oh, 100%. And then, there was I'm not sure they're newer, but Hoodoo, which is, like, one of the other ones that has, like, a fin style pedal, the only one similar to the Hobies. But after we looked through them, after just looking at them, it was one of those ones where I was like, How about those?" Again, like, maybe we would get into it and we'd be like, "Freaking heck yes, this is, like, the best thing since sliced bread," but until I do, and I don't know any dealers around me that have them. Around us, we could get into an Old Town Bonafide, Hobies, obviously, you guys, that's where we bought them near us. But you can get into just at Jackson, you can get into any of those. You can try
Yeah,
them
but
out.
I'm not that Hoodoo looks like an Amazon ripoff to me,
And
personally.
there
Like,
are
I
there
can't.
are a lot that are not direct copycats, but very, very much
Way
copycats.
too close for comfort, and knowing the complexity that went into the
Yeah.
Hobie, having owned one, there's absolutely no way I'm buying anyone
It's
else's.
it's a paraphrase of a Hobie.
There's absolutely no way. The one boat that I think that, would be like my number 2, and it was, or my number
Sure.
3, and it was pretty close. Brooklyn Kayak is out there making
That's
some
the other
boats
one.
that they are freaking sweet looking, and, like, I've never touched one, never seen one
Yeah.
in real life, so I couldn't say it, but holy moly, like,
Yeah.
good looking boats at a really good price point. Um, they're pretty
Yeah.
sweet. They look like they're ready to rock.
A lot of other brands won't make the cut. Like, the new canoes are almost too minimalistic for us. I'd rather have more of this like tech setup that these two kayaks we chose have, because I want more stock. I want more upgradability without having to literally like build the frame out for everything and do everything up. But if you want a naked boat, New Canoe makes some pretty sweet naked
But
boats. Like if
yeah,
you want to
I,
just be super minimalistic, you could definitely do that.
it'd be a
Um,
great duck hunting boat, but that's probably where I'd leave it personally.
yeah,
That's just me.
and you know, obviously the reason we're not building a Hobie right now is because we're in the river. Like I don't want my Hobie in the river. The 360 handles well. If I'm in a big water, deeper river, maybe, like as long as the current's not insane. I'd rather be in a boat at that point. But yeah,
Paddle only.
the paddling is just
There's
better
no
in the
way
river.
in
And
hell.
if
Their
you
boats are just too heavy.
exactly.
They're,
And
w-
if
they're
you have, oh, that's the other thing is us getting our boats down some of these terrible ramps. We go down some real washed out stuff, you guys, into the rivers. It gets nasty, and you don't want that heavy friggin' A boat going down in there. And yeah, I mean, other than that, like pedaling, you know, you're gonna have skinny spots. You just are. You're gonna have stuff you're gonna run into. It's just the way that rivers work. So I would definitely rather have a paddle. And then if you have like an anchor wizard with a drag chain, oh my gosh, life is so easy. It's kind of a joke.
that's a big game changer.
Yep.
We'll get to that
All
soon.
right, let's keep
We need to
moving.
talk. We need to talk the next most important thing, life jacket. Was my number two
Yeah.
consideration.
I want
Um,
to preface this because we had somebody like just call us out. I'm not even going to think of it as a call out on
okay,
YouTube.
okay.
We did a video that did pretty well. It was like these are the accessories like you have to have in your boat because we believe in them wholeheartedly. Some of those were safety items. He called us out for make forcing people to try and like buy expensive PFDs. Here's the deal, you guys. If you want a PFD that will make you float, you can spend $0 and get it from your grandpa, or you can spend $25 at any sporting goods store and you can float. If you want a technical PFD, you're spending at least 80 bucks. And then if you want like a really nice technical PFD, then you're spending like 130 to, 200 bucks. And then if you want like the instant inflate ones that most bass guys have in their bass boats, like you're spending 250 plus. It just is what it is. So don't call people out for pointing out PFDs, bro. Like,
Well,
get them.
I'll say this about PFDs: like the cheapest PFD that you can get that's really designed to be in a kayak, because the padding being
Yeah.
up high, like on your back shoulder, not
Yeah.
down by your below where you're
AKA
sitting in your seat.
not comfortable.
Those are some things that if you got to pay for that. That to me, that's
Yeah.
like the minimum. You cannot get away with like a Sea-Doo, jet ski setup
Right.
that's like
Well,
30 bucks from Dick's. Like you can't get away
right.
from that. I wouldn't recommend that to people.
Storage,
But the cheapest
dual
one
dual
is like
zippers,
that
you know,
Onyx is like one of the cheaper ones, and I
that's
think
why I
that's in
just
the
got rid of it.
60 some dollar range. It's
80.
a
It's
80
actually
bucks.
80
So
bucks.
you're
It's
already almost at $100. And this
yep.
is where we get into this thing where it's like, okay, frugal versus cheap. You can
Yeah.
go the $80 route. I'm fine with it. But if I'm already
It'll
spending
last a while.
to me,
Yep.
if I'm
Yep.
spending $80 already and I go to $100, I'm spending 20% more. But
Yeah.
it's the thing that I use the entirety of the time that I fish, period, or kayak or anything. I'm using it the whole time. So next to the boat and the paddle, these are the three things that are the most important. I'm willing to spend 20 or 30% more to get something that I'm going to be super happy. That's how my mind works. I'm
Yeah.
okay. I'm not going to lose my mind over that 40 bucks. I'm just not. So
I
for
I
me, yeah.
I look at it as an investment now. I mean, because people knock us for having Hobies too. And it's like, whatever. It is what it is. If you don't want a Hobie, that's fine. Don't project how you feel onto other people. We made videos about it. You guys remember that? And TikTok was like, everybody, it's like, what are you talking about? I'd rather have a John boat. Like, okay, cool. Have whatever
Oh
you
my god, that
want
was
to
funny. I
have.
forgot about that.
Have whatever you want to have. Be happy with it. As long as it makes you happy, great.
Well, in
We're
this
not
case,
sitting here.
as long as it keeps you
Oh,
safe.
in this case, keeps you safe and you have easy access to everything you need. But
So let's do the life jackets. You went
yeah.
with
So I went with the one I have, right? And I would just get it again. Because again, this scenario, you guys, is building it from scratch. You have nothing, right? So if I have nothing, I'd go with the NRS Chinook because it is hands down my favorite life jacket. And I liked my Onyx. It was fine. it just was never as light or as comfortable. The Chinook is light as heck, way more comfortable, more secure, and it has more storage options that are just better. It's just built better. So
Those
that's
are
that's
those are
me.
$160.
Yeah, but you get them on sale a lot. They're
I'm just
constantly
saying.
on
I'm just
sale.
calling out the retail. That's,
Yep.
$160.
MSRP $160. I bought mine for 120, and you
Mhm.
can always get it for 120.
Yep.
So,
I went and I did the same thing. I went with the Stolquist Fisherman.
mhm,
It's low profile, but it's a super heavy. It's like it's that thing's built to last. There's
yep.
none of that like nylon like stuff, that thin nylon, not
No,
nowhere. Dude, that thing is
instant
built
tear.
for battle. I like that
Yeah,
the front part is like hard plastic. I actually not plastic, but it's like a hard foam. I actually really like that. The two pockets. The
yep,
dual zippers is big for me because it locks stuff in that maybe has to pop out, like for example, a battery or a cell phone.
yep.
But you can zip it down closed if you're like, I'm going through rapids, I don't want to lose anything for sure. You can zip it up, lock it in good. That's a great spot for a knife, and it's pretty low profile up here in the chest, which I love. So 120 bucks. I've had that thing for years, and I would recommend it to anyone. It's phenomenal.
Semi bulletproof. It's at
It
least
really is, dude. I
it's
will
jerk
say
bait resistant. If I just hit you with
can't
a
confirm.
weight,
The one that I would actually not recommend, even though it seems really nice, I wouldn't recommend it to people. I used it for 2 days. The Hobie branded Life Vest. If you
you
like to
mean
keep
Old
things in
Town?
Old Town,
You
sorry,
used
the
an Old
Old
Town.
Town. I used an
Hmm.
Old Town one. I did not like it. I was not a fan.
No, you told
It
me
was
because I looked at
flimsy.
it.
It was
Yep,
flimsy. It was too light. Like it felt airy, which I didn't like at all. And it has a bunch of features that were kind of useless to me, like a fly patch thing and some other stuff. I was like, I don't want. I'm not using any of this. This is no good, no bueno. And the pockets were like so loosey goosey. It wasn't for me. And I've seen a lot of people fish in that thing. Not for me.
yeah, 100%. All right, so let's go to the next big thing, which would be a paddle. You have a paddle kayak. Guess what you need? A paddle. Now you get one in stock on 99.9% of these kayaks, but that is an okay paddle at best. So unless you get a deal. So I have seen this before. Let's say you go to like a good marine center, they got a nice kayak place, they're running a deal for Black Friday, whatever, and they're like, oh, we'll throw in this one. And you might get like an 80 at best $100 value paddle. This is the same thing. If you guys are getting a paddle, and Hoover said it when he was on the podcast, invest in it. Like it's going to last if you get a nice high quality paddle. And where better to look for high quality paddles than bending branches? So where we both looked, I see yours on the sheet, is bending branches, and we both picked the same one. I don't know if you were looking at the newer version, but if you saw the newer version of the bending branches Angler Pro is a snap lock, which means it has infinite adjustment settings on the angles. So you can adjust it a whole bunch. Now, I don't do that a whole bunch, but for the same price as what the Angler Pro was before, I'd be like, yeah, I mean, I'll take it.
I
Like,
I
you can do a
didn't
million things with it.
well, and I didn't because I know that I don't need it,
Yeah,
and I like things that are simple and are not like, I would
it's not
personally
complicated, dude.
I would remove stuff. I would remove
There's
things if I
nothing to
could.
take off.
Well,
It's just a
the
little tab,
no, I
like how
know,
you
but
have the little button.
I don't want that. I
It's
actually
fine.
like the single
Okay.
piece, and
I'll be
so
cooler. It's fine.
that's just how I mean, even look at the boats that we picked, like, the
Yeah.
seat I like the seat that I picked because
Yeah.
there's really actually nothing to it. There's nothing added
Minimal
to it, super
everything.
minimalistic. It's just different, and so, mine's same thing. So I also
Yeah.
went with the Angler Pro. It's really expensive. It's a $350 paddle.
It's
Here's
gonna
what you're
last you
getting easily, but
forever. And it
here's what you're
weighs
getting.
30 ounces, is it?
That's the
Like
thing.
grams? I don't
This
know.
is what
It's
you're playing for. This is
nothing.
what you're paying for, you guys. There's a couple of things. One, and this might be the most important, is certainly strength to weight ratio.
Yeah.
Carbon handle. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for carbon handle. That carbon handle is someone just asked what's the weight on the Shoalie? 89 pounds. Unloaded.
The
Though you're
Bonafide is
paying
94, so it's 5
exactly
pounds
same.
heavier.
They're the same.
We're
The
so close.
Yeah. If you guys look at the specs on those boats, they're eerily similar. The Shoalie's a
Yeah.
little shorter
Yeah.
as
11.7.
like my MX was 11 foot and a half.
Yep.
This is 11.7. I love that. I've had it. I love it. Anyways,
Paul's a little
the
shorter. I'm a little taller.
you
That
get it.
makes sense.
The mine's a little wider, the
Oh, mine's a
so
little
the
wider.
so the
Oh, wait, no.
paddle exactly. So the
Uh,
paddle, you're paying for a super light but also super rigid. So all the energy that you put into the paddle, you get back. It's
Mhm.
going into the water. You're
Yep.
getting max value for every time you paddle.
Mhm.
Another thing that you are getting a shape, a paddle shape that is designed to work with a kayak. Why is that important? The angle at which you sit on a sit on top kayak is different than a canoe, is different than a sit inside kayak. These are designed for fishermen fishing out of fishing kayaks.
Yep.
That typically means 12 inches off the water. That's how they're designed. They're designed to be used within a couple of inches of where you're going to be sitting. The other thing that you're getting is a really sturdy paddle that you can use to push off, that you can use to barge, that is
Without
not going to
snapping
break,
it.
that is not going to warp.
Yeah.
Okay? These are really important. Another thing that you're getting a really thought out color wheel. The reason that almost none of these really high end ones, not a lot of them come in black. A lot of them for fishing the river, they come in bright, bright colors. People like that because it's a safety feature. It's something that you can wave. It's
Yeah.
something that you can hold up and be seen. They're like neon green, bright red, orange. Like those are your kind of standard
Yep.
colors for a lot of these. Um, that's what you're getting. And yes, you're paying a lot for it. It seems insane until you're like 7 years down the road. You still haven't broken it. You've saved yourself a million times. But you got to remember is like if that paddle broke when you're on the river, and I've seen someone do this, Jeff and I both have,
Yeah.
it
He was
completely
he was mad.
it not only wrecks your day, but it makes you unbelievably you're far
Right.
less safe. If
He
you hit a
broke it.
problem, you
He
need the
broke it.
paddle.
He broke it in the first minute of the trip, you guys. We got to a river and we didn't even know how long this river was. We thought it was shorter than it was. It was supposed to be like a 3-hour trip. It took us 7. And as he pushed off, it snapped right away. And then we still proceeded on because we'd already dropped a truck at the other end. So we're like, well, we have to go. This is how we do things. Anyways,
That guy
so
had
yeah,
no fun.
no, he was very upset. Paul and I went ahead, and I had like a good luck day. Remember, I lost a spinning setup. It fell out of my boat, got pulled out by a tree, as opposed to other times that this happened. I turned around, I paddled back up river, and I found it because the water was clear enough. It was just sitting on the bottom for me. So it was a pretty cool day.
The other some other considerations, Aquabound and Yak Gear both make really high quality angler designed
Hmm.
paddles. I would never recommend anyone out of a bending branches though after having one. That's what
Nope.
I use now and I love
It,
it.
it's it's the paddle is so close to as valuable as the kayak itself because you can't move without the
It's your
paddle. So
pedals. You're paying for your pedals.
consider investing in it, you guys. Very, very valuable stuff there. Fishing for potatoes talked about total weight versus usable weight on these choices. We didn't actually add that up. That's a great point because that would take going to the specs of everything that we buy and then checking the
Too
weight.
much.
It's a lot of
I
work.
could tell you right
Sorry,
now.
it's gonna be. Go ahead. You say yours.
Well, I was gonna say,
What you think?
I know mine is probably like all the gear is
Mm-hmm.
probably 50 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
60, 50 to 75 pounds. The boat's 90 pounds, give or take. And you put all that together, you're talking about 150-pound boat versus what I'm
Yeah,
using now versus now,
250-pound
which
boat.
is like probably a 200,
I got a
225.
40-pound battery. It's like when you add all that stuff in. So like the lake boat versus the river boat. We run our river boats light. Like if we had a built for the riverboat, it would be light. We'd be running low gear.
Lightish.
We'd have 4 rods, maybe 5 if we were getting crazy.
Or
And then we'd have the crate would be half of what it normally is, maybe less, right? So
I
it's
might not even need it in the Crescent because it holds 4
yeah.
boxes on its own.
Yeah. Well, true. And I mean, either that or the Bonafide has the side seat and underneath as well. So I mean, we could get away without a crate. The crate weight is like barely anything, so I'm not too worried about it.
Mhm.
My kayak will be 25 pounds heavier than Paul's because it always is, and that is
That's science.
Newton's
We have the
fourth law.
exact same boat. Somehow Jeff's, I swear to God, weighs at least 25 pounds
That's
more.
we
Period.
put everything
And
the same
it's
in it.
consensus. This is consensus. Every time I pick up his boat, I'm like, what are you doing
I can't explain it, you guys. I don't know.
so
Mine's always
weird?
like sneaking some extra carbs at night or something. Anyways, so let's keep rolling. We're gonna do one more, then we got a fun
Yep.
mid roll for you guys. I want to share a little story that happened. So the next thing would be in consideration, and this is what it's either gonna price me way ahead of Paul or at the same level. I do like to have a sonar, and if I'm gonna get a sonar, I mean the main purposes, Paul and I agree on this, would be like water temp. I want to know depth when I can. I want to get a semi decent idea of what the structure is. So you could easily get away with like a low level entry level, whatever, which means you're going to spend $350 minimum.
Yeah.
So what I looked at was like, okay, what do I want that would make me happy? It'd be like a 7 to a 10-inch screen, because the bigger the screen, easier just to see everything. We get
Well,
talked
it's
with
higher
Bastink about
definition.
that a
Yeah.
lot, right? And then if you can get an HD model, so I love my Garmin. I would go with another Garmin. One that I've seen on sale forever is the UHD 93SV. It's the Ultra, or the Echo Map Ultra HD. Great. I mean, ours is the 12-inch version of that, the newer one. It is a touchscreen. You definitely don't have to go there, but I can get that thing for $699. So I can get, and that's going to have side imaging. It's going to have everything that I want. I could downsize it and easily save another 100 to $200. So there's some options there, I would say. But I would love to have, like I said, a 7 to 10-inch screen. Side image is not a necessity, but I can protect a side imaging transducer more easily than another like the base transducer. So I could get, I have it on my list of extra accessories, like a Burley Pro cover. I've been loving mine. You can slap that up on the bottom. The cool thing about the Bonafide, and I know you have a cool thing about yours as well, the Bonafide has a removable pod in the middle, and you guys can go look up Fluke Master's video on this. He takes the pod out. He literally just works on the pod. It's got space underneath for a side imaging transducer. So I'm talking the long transducer, like a little half oval shape, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, so you drill it right into this pod. You put all your cable and your small batteries. So I'd be looking at like Naqua, or we could look at FPVs, which are generally the same. FPVs less reliable. That's in my experience, just so you guys know. I had to replace my FPV batteries like 9 times. Um, the Naqua, highly reliable, waterproof, comes in great cases. Boom, easy. And it's also like that big. Like you just slap that thing in there with all your cable. It's all in one space, and that whole pod comes out whenever you want to like leave. It's pretty freaking cool.
It is cool.
So we're traveling. I can just take the pod, put it in my truck. I can drive without it, man. So I would definitely go that route. I think it's really cool. And then you got your sonar, your actual mapping system is like pretty low in the kayak, so it's not like knocking into stuff. I'm not hitting it when I'm casting. It's like quite a bit lower than our current setup is, right, on the
Oh
Hobies,
yeah.
because we have that up on a rail. This would bring it down probably like 6 inches or something. So
Yep.
it was a pretty cool setup. I watched Fluke Master's video. I would 100,000% do that. I like it. So 499, 699 range kind of sonar, flap it in that mid console piece. What about you?
I I built it into my total price, and once I saw it, I would take it out. I mean, I left it in just to keep the comparison steady.
Sure,
But
sure.
again, when I look at like the number of times that I've been like, "Oh, I what did I use my sonar for?"
Yeah.
I didn't. It's
I'll
not
I'll I'll point out that on our last river trip, I used my sonar, my live scope actually, and caught a
that, but
bunch
it's
of smallmouth.
again like totally different. And I would not
Sure.
I would not have a live scope. And
I
I use
wouldn't.
my side scan in the river way more than anything else. So that's what
Yeah.
I'm using with the live scope. So but for me in this boat that I'm building, I
Mhm.
probably would just go without, to be honest. Let me just I'll go straight to the end because we're gonna do the mid roll here.
Mhm.
I'll go straight to the end. My build, including Jeff's $700 same setup, because that if I was gonna get one, I would get the same
It'd be the
setup.
same
Just to
one.
be clear, I would get almost the same setup. So I built in $700.
Mhm.
My total build is $3,500. So if I take $700 off of that,
You're
at
sub 3K.
2,800, that's
Yeah.
a huge difference for me.
Mhm.
And when I look at like what did I get for my 700,
I
considering
mean,
this is a riverboat, I'm out.
right. The biggest thing too is sonar is always like an extra add-on later. Like you can always just get it
Sure.
later, and you can
The
upgrade it later. It
yeah.
doesn't
What I
matter that much.
No, and what last thing I'll say about the Shoaly and the way the electronics work, there's an elevated portion inside the
Front
molded front
hatch.
hatch of the kayak
Yep.
where it's built for like a battery and all those accessory cords and everything to go, and it's like totally out of the way of everything, and it's right behind
Mhm.
where you would mount your screen, and your screen mount is built for a 9-inch screen. I think it's a 9-inch screen. I think it's 10, 9 or a 10-inch screen, and it's actually totally flat and recessed. It's completely out of the way of the boat. It's pretty low,
Yeah.
and it's angled towards you. I love that. It is super slick. It's perfect for
No,
what
it's
I would
it's
use it for.
it's definitely cool. White whale fishing, aka I think Greg pointed out, Yak Attack Switchblade is a good rail mount. So with the rail mount things, honestly, guys, I don't like them at all. I don't like them. Paul had one for a long time. He hated it. And in the river, I mean, you're like, oh, tip it up. Like, oh, don't run into something. Like
Hate it.
it's
I hate
not
it. When you're
no.
drafting and all of a sudden your tracking's off, it's
Yeah,
like if I hate it when I have it
frustrating.
now for live scope. It's
Yeah.
still my least favorite part about my boat.
Some people like it. I would rather have a through hole in the middle of the
No
boat where it's
question.
designed to be
Yeah,
away
also
from.
your side scan on the other side of the boat is dog crap.
Yeah,
So
we do
it's
get
not
this with
good. It's just
live scoping because with the live scope, you got to pass it through, and the Hobies are like the tri-tune hull. So I mean, seeing your live scope through your boat, like if there's fish up
I can see
high,
my pedals.
you can see your pedals. Like you're not seeing these fish.
So
So that is
yeah,
kind of frustrating, but that's just something to think about. Um, yeah. So at any rate, yours would be cheaper and lighter if you did that, obviously. I'll take heavier and more expensive. Isn't that how it is right now? Actually, our boats are like the same price.
so far.
So yeah, for my overall build, it would be 3,600, and it's mostly because of the higher cost, the $150 more that the Bonafide is. I could skimp on some accessories. I could skimp on the transducer setup, or my fish finder setup as well. But I don't want to.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna go with it. Anyways, real quick mid roll for you guys. Got something fun
Oh yeah, this
that
is good.
this
So we're
this
doing this is the
happened in
first
real
time
life.
this is the first time we're doing bot or not.
Bot or not, which
So if you
means
guys, if you listen to a prior episode, we had like a comment that we got, and someone was like, "Is that a bot or is that a person?" And
right.
someone came up with bot or not, and so now it's a segment option. So we've selected it today. So go, Jeff. Tell us about this week's bot or not.
Chaz, is it up on screen? All right, sweet. So as you can see, there's both obviously bots. So what makes this fit this segment is because they're bots. It doesn't matter. It could be like bot or not. Sometimes it'll just be like, look at what these bots are doing right now because it's freaking hilarious. So these two bots botted each other. I've never seen this before. I've been on YouTube for a while. You get the bots, you get the obviously the adult website ones or whatever. Like, find your love here. Like, who is going to pas36.fun, please? Can anybody tell me, like, you saw that upward arrow and a bunch of smooches and whatever that is, just says find your love here, and you're like, well, try my luck. I guess I'll go to this website. None of you
Ooh.
guys would. I know that because you're way smarter than that. So this bot goes find your love here. We get that all the time. All the time. And most of the time I have them flagged for certain words, so
The
they never even get play.
Most of
It
the time
doesn't
they
even
never
matter.
pan out. I click on them and I
I click
never.
there, I go there. You guys would be surprised. Like my computer just melts down. I don't get it. Like
I lose $1,000.
I didn't find my love. It was rude. It was terrible. Anyways, so they never even get play. This one somehow got play, and then this other bot started trolling our page. They got flagged every single time because I don't let giveaways happen in comments. I've got all of that flagged for you guys. Don't worry about that. So and don't please don't ever respond to a comment on any YouTuber's page if they say contact this WhatsApp, this Telegram, this, and it's not even them. This says text at River Certified. That's not even close to us. So don't ever respond to that stuff. It's ridiculous. You will get scammed. We had some like closer to decent ones happen to us on Instagram that almost got some people. You got to watch out for this stuff. Be careful. We don't do giveaways that way. We never will. So, anyways, this other bot comes in and says, "Thanks for watching and commenting. Congratulations, you have been selected." I was like, "You, the bot botted the bot." I don't know. This blew my mind when I saw it. So obviously I screen capped it, and here you go. You're welcome for this piece of the internet today, I guess. This is sometimes how the
It was
internet rolls.
priceless.
Anyways, all right. So back to the build. We're gonna
So we
we're gonna
got
wrap this
two
thing up with
two sections
accessories.
less. Yeah, we got the accessories
Yep.
and then what I would consider critical fishing gear, which is like things you should have in your boat. So I will go super fast. Jeff's and mine are very similar. Mine is pretty minimal. So you got to have the anchor wizard and the drag chain. If you don't know what the anchor wizard is, the anchor wizard is basically like a handle on a wheel, and what it does is it raises and lowers your drag chain, which is a river anchor basically.
Yep.
a massive fan of this. What I don't like about it is it's not the best for the river. So like that kind of sucks because you're breaking up sediment on the bottom. But it is like the best way to fish in the river if you're drifting. The Yakatech Black Box, I go back and forth on this one. I would like to have it most times in the river. I'm probably gonna leave it at home, but that's
Okay.
125 bucks. The Anchor Wizard is about 100 bucks. I do have a net holder because I actually want a specific type of net holder. I'm calling that 50 bucks. And then I have here the Sea Tug, which is a really nice set of wheels that you can mount pretty much anywhere in a kayak. Um, I would definitely go that route. It's the cheapest, easiest route.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going there, but that's 100 bucks. So
Oh,
those are
you
my
gotta get
critical.
one.
That's my accessory list, like things that are going to be with me.
Totally forgot about the wheels. Good
Oh
call.
boy.
So never mind. Mine is now $3,700 because I throw the wheels in there. Um, but yeah, so the Bonafide has your scupper holes. So I would just get the scupper wheels. Typically, you can get them for like 100 bucks. I've had a Hobie pair that I've loved for a long time. They're actually sitting in my basement, but we're starting from scratch, so I gotta buy new ones. But at any rate, yeah, I would do the scupper wheels, just the two. This is a lighter yak. If I have no problem pulling my other one around, I'm not mounting wheels to it. It's not heavy duty. I don't
No,
need to do that.
when you're just adding a lot of weight.
Yeah. So did you went through accessory and critical?
Nope, just
Sorry, my
accessories.
dog attacked my face. So at any rate, so the accessory list for me is very similar, except heavier duty because I have more things. So we have the Anchor Wizard drag chain, of course. Drag chains are basically free. You just use chains, and I like throwing like a little bicycle tubing over them. Definitely don't have to do that. Paul does, and I do. Yak Attack Black Box, I would probably do. I really like the look of that thing. I would love to have one, and it just is convenient. And it's got a latch or latch lid on top. So if we ride light, I can just latch it if we go through rapids, and I don't have to worry about it because it'll be strapped down. Yak Attack net holder, those are basically free as well. I think they're 12 bucks. You can get a 2 pack for 25 or whatever, and they go on the rails. So then you can just lay your net down and it snaps in. Love it. I use it with my Ego net sometimes. Um, so I would use that transducer cover necessity in the river. If you don't have a retractable transducer section like the Hobies have, then that means every time you run over a rock, which you will, you're just bumping your transducer into stuff, right? If I have a cover on that side imaging transducer, it's fine. It's super tough, durable stuff. We have them on the front of our boats. I have them on my transducer right now. So do you. Like, and there's no damage to it. And it doesn't impact your visibility at all. So they're pretty awesome. Burley Pro transducer coverage, highly recommended. And then I would probably have, I don't know why I threw this in. I don't even need to throw tackle in here because it's not even part of it. So I'm taking that out. Anyways, you get the idea. So those are my accessories and the wheels that I mentioned as well. So there you
I
go.
like it.
Critical.
What'd you go for the fishing gear that you must have?
So critical would include things that are going to keep expensive stuff from flying away from you, keep awesome fish from not getting caught, keep you safe and alive, things like that. That's what we're talking about, and also keep your record straight or your settle arguments with how big that fish was later. So
Exactly.
those are what we consider critical. So my criticals would be a solid net. I love, 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 love the Ego like fixed position, not extendable, just fixed position nets. They're awesome. They float. They're bright colors. I have a blue Cryptek style one right now, and you can get them on sale. But let's just say it's 100 bucks. I'll just round it up. But I was looking at them like 80, 90 bucks that you could get. So 80 to 100 bucks, EgoNet, solid. The NRS PFD knife, awesome. I actually ordered one on Black Friday, so I will have one. Paul already has one, so I've seen it. I have the same one as you, but I got it in green,
Green.
obviously. Duh. Also, my Bonafide, I would have gone Venom. I saw a whole bunch of voting on that earlier. You guys really like, I think I forget what the gray color was called, but you guys like the gray color? Of course, that's awesome. Top Gun Gray. Well, of course, that's why it's called Top Gun Gray. That's why. Venom is sick, and then I would get the Bending Branches in like the Cryptek Bright Chartreuse, obviously. Love those stuff. Anyways, knife whistle. Whistle is again free, $5, right? It's just very helpful, especially in the river, depending on where you're going. You want to not get trapped, stuck, die, whatever, stranded. Whistle could be helpful. So why not for $5? I'm gonna throw that on. Um, I put it on a track mounted light. If you're going night fishing, I totally retract that statement because I wouldn't be night fishing on the river. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that out. I was thinking lake stuff, safety. Anyways, Bye. I do like the catch boards. I have one right now. They float. They're awesome. Well, the plastic ones do. But anyways, so the catch boards, your kayak has a really sweet spot for them that was designed for them, which was a bit jealous about. But anyways, I would get one anyways. Because those are rad. Basic scale, as long as it's not the Rapala scale, I'll be happy about it. The one that lives forever back here in Shameville on that shelf. Um, if I need to open a bottle, I'll use my teeth, like that random guy that said so in the comments a long time ago. Um, I'm sure, like, so the Hobie has a bottle opener in the rear hatch. Weirdest thing ever. I'm sure the Bonafide has
It's
one
the
somewhere.
yeah, I forgot about that.
Or my keys. All right, I'll figure it out. And also, no glass on the river. Get out of here. I like the Yak Attack track mounts. Those are pretty cool. I mean, they're like 25, 30
They're
bucks, I think.
I think they're more
Yeah.
the retractor ones?
No, it's not. I'm gonna say 34.95, and I'm probably right. So anyways, I would attach that to the pliers, so that way if hit something, I don't lose my pliers. That'd be important to me. There's that bin, but the bin is like kind of open on top, so you could definitely easily lose stuff. Might have
Yeah,
a
they're 30
lipper.
each.
What's that?
30 each.
Rest my case. Anyways, I would probably. I said lipper. I'm just gonna be a man and hold my pike. Uh, with my sliver that's permanent. And I also did put a med kit in there, which I think is valuable, especially, I mean, anytime you're on the water. Empty bottle free. Go ahead.
So I had the only
Especially.
the only difference that I have with Jeff, the same net, love that net. It's super great. I'm a huge fan. I have the same knife whistle. For me, I like retractors, the clip-on ones, because I like to have some on my vest. I like to hang it from different places. I like to be able to move them. Um, and then I had the same scale ruler, the exact same deal. But I would go with the metal catch. So that's what I built into my cost. I don't need it. I don't feel like I needed any more track mounts. There's two in the front, two in the back. That's kind of more than
Oh,
I
like
would.
the actual track?
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't add any either because mine comes with
yeah,
the same
yeah.
two in front,
So
two in back.
And then yeah, like I didn't add pliers med kit, but the only thing I would add to Jeff's list that wasn't in there was a toolkit. So you really do need to have
I'll
you
just
need to
borrow your
have
toolkit. You can use my med kit.
yeah, you need to have basic tools, screwdriver,
Yeah.
hex head, fixed position screwdrivers, nothing that can break. You gotta have
I
TP
mean,
in there. You gotta have some really basic tools. Like
yeah.
you need the minimum. And honestly, carry a backup if you can fit it of everything, because it takes one slip of the hand and your only Phillips head is gone, or your only flathead is gone, or your
Hmm.
only Allen wrench on the right size is gone. So I keep everything. Actually, all my stuff now is on a ring,
Hmm.
and the ring's actually clipped to the actual bag that I keep everything in. So I don't know.
Granted, you also got to keep in mind we have a lot less mechanical moving parts in
I
this
know,
boat
but
versus our boat.
I'm still
Yeah,
carrying that. It's such
sure,
a yeah,
sure.
that's a big one for me. So total build cost, Jeff, yours was like 3,700.
Yeah, it's up to 37 if I had the wheels, which I
I
would.
added up everything via a calculator.
I
Uh,
used a calculator. What are you saying? I just guessed.
I don't
Get
know.
out of
You have
town.
your little squiggle that says almost this much. Mine was
Eh,
35. Mine was 3,500. But that's with the $700 sonar, which I still honestly, if you put my feet to the fire for a riverboat, I'm probably not putting in. So
yeah,
without 2,800, but for comparison, we're within $200 of each other.
bing,
These
bing,
builds are
boom.
almost identical.
Yep.
So
As you would guess. Also, in the follow-up poll, they like my build better.
that's only
So there.
I don't care because I like mine better. Honestly, you guys, that Crescent kayak, like
Such a good
I'm 100% ready. I'm ready to die on that hill. That boat
I just
is
want
stellar.
Can I just ask the universe for this favor? Can more like political arguments just go the direction of I don't care. I I do not care.
Could
Like a
not care less.
third grader at recess, like I don't care. Anyways, all right. So here's what we're gonna do, you guys. You know the drill. If you've been on the podcast before, we're gonna roll on into slow rolling thunder, and we're gonna give you something. a giveaway. In fact, today we're going to go lean on our best friends over at Monster Bass, our sponsor, Monster Bass, for one, helping us out with all the great stuff and supplying us with gear and supplying you guys with gift cards and just being an overall awesome partner. So they are going to give you guys a $25 gift card. Good for anything on the website. Go to monsterbass.com. You can check it out. It's good for everything but the subscription, but that's okay because they have a ton of tackle, lots of gear, lots of apparel. You will be happy with something, and you can buy rods now. So if you want to check out the rods, we have used one of them, and it was very nice. We liked it a lot. We'll do a more full review once we actually get more of them, and we'll be getting the whole lineup in 2023. So sometime soon, whenever we can fish with them, which would be like
We got
March.
fish in the Southeast baits on the site.
What?
That's
Yes.
tight.
Yes, exactly. That's wait, his baits?
That's
How,
literally
how
what I
did you
said.
pull? What did you do? What did you do?
Oh god.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, start chatting. Say something in chat so that you can qualify for the giveaway. And we're gonna ask some random questions and be very slow about answering them. Ready? Go.
Freaky. What is the freakiest moment from a movie that has stuck with you to this day? To this day.
So Chaz immediately when he saw this said that
Mhm.
moment in Final Destination where the log truck dropped all the logs on
Water
everybody.
bottle?
Every time you're behind a log truck now, you're just like,
No, no, mine's the water bottle where he tries to hit the brakes, but the water bottle's behind the
yep.
brake. I lose my mind whenever I have a water
When
bottle
your
rolling
when
around
your
the floorboards. I'm
croc
like, I'm gonna die.
your
I'm
croc falls off
a
and you can't hit the brakes.
dead man driving. Like,
So I went with that. I rolled with it, and I was like, you know what? Not all of, most of the Final Destination deaths
yeah,
are things that just stick with you because they're such
the
like
glass where he
they're
folds the guy in half.
they're meant to be just mundane, everyday things that could, in worst case scenarios, happen to you, and therefore they stick with you. And now it's like, yeah, you drive behind a log truck, you're like, I hope this log doesn't shoot through my face. And also like the kid with the barbecue at the end of that movie,
The shower
the shot,
slipping in. Oh my
the
god,
dude lifting with like the swords behind him.
that's ridiculous.
There's just so
I
many ridiculous things.
so
So
mine what
anything Final Destination, I'm with Chaz
mine
on this one.
mine was do you um the pit with the needles in
Oh, the saw.
oh my
Just
god, where
because it was
she's
so
got like
viscerally,
they're all
yeah,
poking her and she's just like
yeah,
and
gross.
like just like
A
wading
saw
through
too.
needles to
Yeah,
find the one that's different
yeah,
color.
yeah. It's just gross. There's plenty of other. What I said to Chaz
The
was like,
stuff of nightmares.
oh, 100%. Thing I said to Chaz was like, dude, if you watch horror movies, like it's
There's no
basically
other
90%
there's
of things.
nothing else.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
There's
so
nothing
90%.
else.
so for me, when I read this question, I was like, what would actually be more realistically to happen? And that's what
It's
would
Final
be.
Destination.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
100%.
that's how I.
Who
took
among
it.
us won't end up in a pit full of needles?
I believe there's a lot of things we could do to avoid this.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Oh god.
let's do this. Let's roll the winner, Chaz, and then we'll have like two more and we'll get out of here. So, who has won the $25 gift card in chat?
Andrew H.
Andrew
Hey.
H. Andrew H, if you've been here before, you know the drill. You got to say, "Hi, I'm alive." And if you are alive and are in fact here, then you may win the $25 gift card. You got about 2 minutes to let us know that, which accounts for delays in the internet. And if you're here,
15
then you'll follow
seconds.
instructions
While we're
Well,
waiting,
on the
Well,
screen.
we actually already have his info because
We have his
what?
information already?
He has to be here.
Mhm.
He gets like 2
Yeah.
minutes.
He's there. I'm alive.
All right.
Also Canadian, though.
I'm alive.
Dang it. Monster Bass doesn't ship to Canada. So, oh no. Oh no. We have a predicament on our hands. Gosh dang it. All right. Well, Andrew, I'll send you something nice. It's my turn, so I'll ship you something all the way over the border that's so far away.
We definitely have like a lot of. I've had to do like 2 Canadian sends in
We
the
got
last
friends
couple
from
of
the
months.
north.
He
We love you guys, and we are one of the only people who do it for you guys. I'll be honest. I think a
He
lot of
did
people are
say
just like,
you could
"Nah,
re-roll if you
He
wanted
says
to.
re-roll. All right.
pay it
For
forward."
sure, man. Oh, we appreciate that. That is an act of kindness, my
You already
friends.
said it, roll it.
Everybody in chat, say thank you to Andrew H for that. Appreciate you, brother.
Daniel
Thanks for the
Hedrick.
Oh,
Daniel Hedrick. You are the follow-up winner of the
He's a prior
$25 gift card. You better not have bailed when you didn't see that you won the first time.
He's already.
So,
I already got his email in here.
oh, we might. Well, you have to be present and alive.
He
Those are
said
the
While
two
we're
nice,
waiting,
I'm
criteria.
yep,
here.
he's here. He's here.
Yay! There
All
we
right.
go.
So while we're
All right, we did
so
it.
we got two more. We got two more questions. We're gonna
Rick
fly
shit
through
to
them.
Canada. Gosh, dang it.
Worst Christmas present you've ever received.
Oh, so I had an instant answer for this, you guys. Ready for this? The worst Christmas present I ever received. And let me just say, like, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Like, I will always be like, thank you. I'm a kind
Yeah.
person. I'll never
Yeah.
be like, eat stuff and get bent. Instead, I'll say thank you. So with this one, I was probably the closest I've ever been. So a person completely unrelated to me, it was like my cousin's great aunt, like just so distant family wise. She just happened to be at a family event, decided to bring gifts for no reason whatsoever. I'm in my 20s. I'm like, why are you bringing me something? So I went to Michigan State University. So did Paul. And this lady brings me a University of Michigan. Start there. Visor. Okay. A visor, blue and yellow, that was made out of beanie material. A toque for my Canadians. It was made out of beanie material. Visor, UFM. And she goes, hey, here you go. And I was just like, why? She knew I went to
Oh
state. I guess she just
my
went,
God.
all Michigan colleges are the same. So
Wow.
that stuck with me, has stuck with me my whole life. Like it's just one of the most hilarious gifts I think I've ever received. Westfall, I did not burn it, but I definitely don't know where it went. I have zero idea where that thing went. I think I gave it to my dad to figure out, and he's a state fan, so he was just like, okay. I was like, you figure it out. You're trash, not mine. Anyways, Paul, what's yours?
I did not have an instant answer. I'll be honest though. My Jeff won again, 51-48.
squeaked
That's
it.
like
I
that's like
squeaked it.
one. That's
That's
like
as
one.
close as our
That's a
builds
one
are.
vote. That's like a one vote variance there.
It's literally
I
just a preference
I
at
should
that point.
yeah. The I think
It's a draw.
yeah, it's a try. It's a draw. I like it. Thanks for the benefit there.
Thanks, Chaz.
I wouldn't have given it to you. The the worst
Dang it,
I,
Chaz.
so there's only I don't really like getting gifts. I'm gonna be honest. And I'll
I
tell
would
you,
say any gift should be your answer because you are the weirdest person I've ever met in that you get viscerally angry
yeah.
when people give you stuff.
Yeah, I do. I don't really like getting gifts. Just
You guys,
almost
we did
in
a Christmas episode on YouTube. It's
Yeah.
still there where I gave
Yeah.
him presents and he gave me presents.
Yeah.
And since then he was like, let's never do this again. Like
Yeah.
I never want to do that again.
I
don't want
hate-
you to ever give
I
me anything.
really don't like getting gifts.
It's
but
so
you know,
funny.
Jeff, that's why he
But-
gave you like a 2-year-old.
I don't know
growler
if people
of
can
beer.
hear you or not. So
Yeah,
this
they
is
can.
dead silence. All
Okay.
right.
Yeah, that's why he gave you a 2-year-old thing of beer in a growler.
It was like a month old.
Oh.
It was not that old.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
Anyways,
That was a different time.
the only gifts that I really don't like getting are like tchotchke gifts. I get like that
Oh,
actually
yeah.
like
Instant trash.
here's a salt shaker that looks like a penguin, and I'm like, why
But it
the
was
hell?
Cute.
It really just bothers me. It bothers me a lot, actually. I hate tchotch gifts because I'm the opposite of a pack rat. I don't want
Yeah.
any extra
Yeah.
stuff around, and this is just like garbage that I have to handle now.
Yeah.
So I'm out. The last
Yeah.
one, and this one I did have an instant answer for. Which Christmas present has made you irrationally excited, where you like lost your mind and you just like ran around the house screaming?
There have been actually a few. There's been quite. I won't say quite a few. There's been a few, but you guys remember the N64 kid? Obviously, everybody who's seen the internet has seen the N64 kid. It's an N64. So I was of the era where I've been through every console. You guys, like every video game console that's existed. Like I was able to get at Christmas, like as a kid, up until like 360 era. Then I was an adult, right? So through Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64, PlayStation 2, like I did all those things. And every time I got one, I would say I was probably irrationally excited, like because it would come, you'd get the new like I can't describe to you guys the
That new
feeling
console smell.
of getting the brand new video game console on Christmas with a couple of games, and you're just like excited for the graphics, and you're like, what are these games going to be like? I have no idea. And you're like, you've never.
It's a whole new world.
You're upgrading from a lower console. It's so different and like mind blowing. So to me, any video game console goes on that list. Like, and I've been through them all, and I remember just opening it, setting it up, playing that game for 24 hours. Like, literally just be like, Dad, I won't be seeing you for the rest of Christmas.
But I love you.
Love you. Thanks for this thing. Never talk again.
Like, get out of my room. I would mine. I had. It was a very like. It was very quiet Christmas.
Yeah.
But I got a Spider-Man action figure, and he had wings, like web wings that clipped onto his back, and it had like a rope that he would like.
Yeah.
It looked like he was flying. I never seen this Spider-Man before in my life.
Yeah.
I didn't know it existed.
So
I
you're
kind of like
"What the
Spider-Man, but I
what?"
wasn't like a gigantic fan.
Sure.
I got that Spider-Man, and for absolutely no reason, something inside of me was triggered, and I was more excited than I've ever been about any other gift that I've received in my whole life. Lost my mind,
Yes.
ran around the house screaming. I'll never forget the 10 minutes of yelling that accompanied getting that Spider-Man. And I had that Spider-Man up
Yeah.
until probably 2004, maybe 2003.
Wow.
Like all the way through high school almost. And I remember being like, I have to get rid of this. This is a sad day. Like when I moved out, when I graduated high school.
Yeah.
So like, dude, cheers for that Spider-Man.
Wow.
Good, solid gift.
Yes. I love it. Dude, I could categorize gifts that got me excited. Like video game consoles. When I used to get skateboards, like that was always super exciting.
Wow.
Yeah. You get a skateboard for Christmas, like you got to build it and everything. So get the trucks, the wheels, the bearings, the deck. Like always pumped about that. Anytime I get Legos, to this day, I get Legos.
To this day.
I get a big Lego set. I'm like,
I got a small Lego
Everybody
set.
go away.
Walker's asking for Legos. He doesn't realize like that's for me.
I have a funny
love it.
Christmas gift opening story. if you
Chaz,
guys
what
wanna
is
hear
it? Tell me.
So this was
and then
in
we're
like
closing out.
this was in like 98.
98?
Yeah, Chucky from the Rugrats.
Okay.
Yeah.
They had like those big like action figures of them, like Tommy,
Yeah.
Chucky, and that.
Yeah.
Go on.
So after I opened mine, in the background while my sister was opening her gifts, you see me punching Chucky in the face.
You have video? You have like the
Yes.
old VHS video
Yeah,
of this,
yes.
like with the little side scan.
It's always the low res videos.
Yeah. I want to see this video. Chaz, video or didn't happen. Do you have it? Can you find it?
Yeah, I
Can you
can find
digitize
This
it.
moment,
Yeah.
receipts. All right.
Right now. I'm just kidding.
That'll be
That's
for the next
awesome,
episode of the
Chaz.
Briley Fishing or the Aggressively Average
What
Angler
are you talking
podcast.
about?
I'm wearing the hat. It's throwing me off. I'm also looking at the
Oh.
logo right here.
You don't even know what show you're on. All right. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We do have a members only live for our members only. Get it? Coming up on the 13th, Tuesday the 13th, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'd love to see you there. So if you are a Shark Deuce member or a Snorlax crew member, then you are very welcome. If you're not, consider upgrading or click join below. You guys are super cool and neat nerds, and we really appreciate you. So smash that like, ring that notification bell, subscribe, and then come back. I'm like a YouTube robot right now. Come back next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live again. We have a guest. We have a guest next week. It's Cast Cray Fishing. So that's going to be pretty rad. What are we talking about with it?
I think we're
Paul?
going to talk about crappie fishing, actually.
Ooh, okay. This is going to be rad. So
Yeah.
obviously, aggressively average anglers are trying to get better at everything. Crappie fishing is something that gets me irrationally excited. So yes. So we're going to have a lot of fun with that. If you guys want to learn more about that, ultralight fishing, crappie fishing, panfish, etc., that's going to be a great episode for you. So we look forward to seeing you next week. Chaz, get us the heck out of here.
Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall, and I found a way to reconcile, 'cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where some go down, others heal. In the end it's all the same. All you can do is play the game. Oh, do we say goodbye? Refuse to question why. I deserve to say I'm sorry, so lie. Pretend that you're okay. Swear that you will stay. Keep trying for one
life kept spitting at my feet and forced me down a dead-end street when all I had went up in flames, burning only dark remains. I cover up every part of my skin, oh, 'cause I don't like the person within, oh. I know I'm the one to blame. All I can do is take the shame, oh. Do we say goodbye? Refuse to question why. I'm too sad to say I'm sorry, so lie and pretend that you're okay. Swear that you will stay. Keep trying for one day. Whoa.